Hey there, welcome. My name is Coach Zach. Thank you so much for joining me. And this is my 12-week Abs for Dads system. And this is going to be our curriculum. It's going to be broken into 3 parts and what are called actually phases. So we'll have 3 different phases we're going through. And really what we'll do in this video is just kind of cover an overview of what each one of those phases looks like, how I've kind of structured and organized everything to make it as simple and easy to follow as possible. Because again, let's face it, a big reason why you're here and why I made this is for busy individuals like you and I who don't have the time to spend, 5, 6, 7, 10 hours a week in the gym or in the kitchen cooking and doing things. We have busy lives, other things to do, and so that's what this is for. Let's go ahead and jump into the different phases. So phase number 1 is going to be maximize, where we're going to overview the program a little bit more as a whole, and then we'll also cover how to maximize what we're doing in the gym to make sure that we're prioritizing the right things to get us the results that we're looking for, while also saving us time. One of my promises is that I can get you to lose, 10 to 25 pounds in the next 12 weeks, depending on where you're starting, up to 25 pounds, sometimes more, in just under 3 hours a week of work. So to deliver on that, we're going to have to maximize what we're doing and focus on quality over quantity, which I'm sure all of you are probably not opposed to. So that's going to be phase 1. It'll be 4 weeks. There'll be a lot of different lesson plans in that. Phase number 2 is going to be fuel. And so the emphasis of this one is probably what you would expect, which is going to be in the realm of our diet and our nutrition and how we can approach it to not only get us, again, the results that we're looking for so that we're actually seeing results, but we also want to emphasize enjoyability and sustainability. So at the end of the day, if you can't enjoy it, you're not going to stick to it. And so we want to make sure that we're able to stick to this plan and get those results that you're looking for. So fuel, again, that's going to be basically a 4-part lesson as well. And I said weeks earlier, so 1 to 4 weeks. Really, it's going to be more probably based on just a total number of lessons within that. If you're anybody like me, when I get into something, I start something, I usually go full bore. And so if you watch all the videos in the first week or 2, that's totally fine. Honestly, the more times you go through it, the better. I used to have a coach who used to tell me the first time we go through something, we retain 10%. And if you're writing and doing 2 different learning avenues at the same time, so if you're writing and listening or reading and then writing down what you're learning, taking notes, you can usually retain at least double that. But even then, let's say 25%, that leaves a lot of meat on the bone that you're not going to remember. And so going through this material as much as possible is important. The last phase of our program is going to be reload. And so this is more around the thing that I've found to be the most important piece in general. And so, it's at the end of the program because, focusing on the fundamentals is going to be really important. But at the end of the day, we really need to rewire your system. And more specifically, you've spent the last 10, 15, 20 years creating this hardwired system that we call habits and, along with some other things that you do on a daily basis and these rituals. And we need to learn to replace those with ones that are going to help you to not only get to your goals, but stay there. And so this is where a lot of people, I think, make a big mistake, or a lot of other programs, is that they end up focusing on the extremes to get them the result. They don't focus on the fundamentals and the habits and implementing these things that are going to keep them on it long term. So that's going to be the 3rd phase. So again, phase 1, maximize. Phase 2, fuel. Phase 3, reload. And then there's a couple other things that we'll touch on at the end, which go into whether we want to go through this again as far as all 3 of those phases and trying to push out your weight loss a little bit longer, or maybe you're looking to just maintain after that. But inevitably, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We want to stick to one thing at a time. So without further ado, we will be jumping into these first couple phases. One thing I did want to just actually cover is what each lesson and phase will look like. when we get into it. So I've broken everything down as simple as possible. Depending on when you're watching this, there should be a worksheet or a PDF that'll overview all of the phases and what they're broken into. But if you're maybe part of my pilot system, maybe we don't quite have that right at the beginning, but I'll kind of walk you through what it looks like. So there's going to be obviously a topic and a focus for each lesson within each phase. And so, for instance, one might be focusing on how to optimize your sessions in the gym, right? And then, so they'll have a topic and a focus. The second thing is, kind of what you'll be learning as far as like what is the critical skill and critical piece that we need to take away from this lesson. Because I don't want to just tell you what to do. I want you to have actionable things that you can work on each week, but also teach you the necessary things that you need to know to keep this up long term, long after you work with me and go through this program. Because at the end of the day, my goal is to teach you kind of the things that I had to learn over the last, decade and a half, as much of that as possible in this next 12 weeks, so you can take this with you and, get to that goal and that place that, you can be happy and confident again a lot quicker. All right. Other thing is why these things matter. We'll cover that because obviously you want to know why the heck we're doing these things. And then actionable steps you can take each week to start implementing that thing. That's pretty much it. Again, the skill habit, we'll go over that. But that's pretty much the framework for each lesson that we'll be going through. So we'll have our phases, which will be 3 phases. And then within each phase, we'll have a couple, like 1 to 5 or something, different lesson plans. Without further ado, again, I recommend you get through as much as you can, especially like if you went through each lesson with each week, that would be totally fine, but again, going through this as much as you can, retaining as much information is probably going to serve you the best. So anyways, we'll get into it. We'll see you in the first phase. Thank you for being here, and we'll talk to you soon.